Most definitely. Azir known for having a laning dominance. I mean, even though it changes to his passive, which is a cooldown reduction for attack speed, he still has extremely strong punishment with that Q on those sand soldiers. If you that poke away, I will decimate there. But looking towards the bot lane, we see Bombboy starting with the Ignite opposed to the Exhaust, which means he's going to go for that high kill pressure lane. I mean, Ignite having a lot more kill pressure than the Exhaust. But this level 1, hopefully the team of Monash just fans out and counters, because it's very unlikely that they're going to have a lane swap happen here.
Yeah, I just want to bring up that Exhaust as well. While it doesn't bring as much kill potential in the laning phase, what it's going to allow is, I mean, look at the enemy team. You've got Aurelia, you've got Diana, even Sejuani. They're going to get on the back line very easily, so Exhaust is definitely going to be a key tool. As I'm saying that, teams are about to crash into the river, but however, 4 members of Monash are able to get a bit of a positional advantage here. And what are the Razors going to do in reaction to it?
Yeah, Razors going to probably walk away because they know they have the weaker level 1 fight. I mean, most likely Dunn started with that Riptide, which is a lot of AoE damage, but not as much CC as offered with the Flay start or even the Hook start, because both extremely strong in their own right. Might go for the counter invade here, try establish some vision of their own, but just gonna back off and play this really safely. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a 2-2 in the bot lane. Both ADCs and supports probably favoring their own matchup, but we'll see what happens soon.
And interestingly enough, you know, Nightblake, he's all the way down on the bottom lane by himself, so he's going to get a very... He's not going to get a leash at all, so it could set him a little bit behind in the jungle, not allow for him to go for any kind of counter pressure against that weak first clear of a Sejuani. So Kenny G is going to have a good time in the jungle as long as he can get through that first clear. You can see a ward on his red buff, which normally I'd say, you know, that's a great opportunity for someone to go in and counter jungle, go in and take him out when he's doing it, but that's definitely not going to be the option here. You can see Blackstar, he's going for that wolf camp start, so that he can teleport up to the top lane with an advantage. Cute Nectarine, calling it though, and going for a bit of a lane freeze, I'd say.
Actually, the bot lane of Monash getting in the advantage here, because what we see right now is that they actually got the Gromp to their bot lane. They're going to share the XP, so the level 2 are going to be hit extremely early. And if they can utilize that Ignite advantage, plus the level 2 advantage, they can really might pick up a kill here. Hooking on to across the Allard.
Yeah, and Allard, he's able to get out of there without taking too much damage. Level 1 Nautilus, he may be able to hook, may be able to snare. That's all he can really do, so unfortunately for them, not going to be able to lock down too much damage. And a big thing about that Gromp start is that they didn't miss a single minion worth of XP. And so they are in such an advantage there.
Most definitely, I mean, it hurts Chinny G there because he had to smite the Gromp and give it across to them, but as you mentioned, the Gromp start not missing a minion at all as well, so they actually essentially got level, or half a level for doing nothing, and that's going to be an extremely integral part of this laning phase. I mean, Allard on that Ashe, gonna try utilize that level 2 advantage, especially Bombboy on that Thresh as well, has the Flay and the Hook at his disposal, but apart from that, Toxic and his partner, I'm done doing a very good job so far.
Both junglers going for pretty risk-free starts as well, and I'm not surprised that Monash is going for that, just because a lot's on the line for this game. You can see he picked up the smaller camp rather than the buff camp. Oh, the lockdown onto Allard goes out. Nightblake has arrived to the party. Flash is still available for Bombboy. No, it's not anymore. He does manage to get out, so Flash is burned in the bottom lane.
Yeah, a very cute thing that Nightblake just did there. He did a level, took the bottom side of his jungle and then came bot for that level 2 gank, and level 3 gank, sorry, and it's expected because the side of Toxic and Dunn had a level disadvantage, and you're trying to equalize the advantage, and kind of caught them by surprise because Allard and Bombboy want to go in with that advantage, and Nightblake being there kind of stopped them.
Yeah, we'll see if there's going to be any more jungle pressure from Rek'Sai early on in the game. Does still have to pick up that blue buff, which means it's going to be handed over to Godhand a lot later than I Will Decimate will get his, so that's going to give a nice window of opportunity for Decimate to maybe take advantage in the mid lane. But once this blue buff is taken out, I'd like to see Nightblake try and go for a bit of counter jungle pressure, or at least counter ganking. As you can see, Blackstar's a pretty big target up in the top lane right now. Maokai not really known for his escape potential, and Nectarine can add a lot of damage as long as the enemy's crowd controlled, and that's exactly what Sejuani can bring. And we can can see Rek'Sai, you know, Nivelac, he's moving up that river. The Skullcrab, however, was just taken out by a Chenny G, so it's going to spot him, which is going to be a small disadvantage for him there. No real opportunities for either jungler, however. You can see a great CS lead in the bottom lane, that Gamestah really playing out a big advantage, almost double the CS over on Alid, and I will decimate. It's like I said in Champions Select, Godhand, he's locking him up underneath his own turret.
Most definitely, apologies to the mic there. As I was mentioning before, we have our Decimate in the mid lane actually out-farming Godhand on that Azir, and only having to pop one pot so far. Actually, I'm done getting caught here, but Nightblade being there might get the pick on Bomboy. Teleport coming through by Q-Nick Zareen. And
here he comes, he's arrived to the party. Nightblade dropping incredibly low. Bomboy should be able to get out alive. Nightblade able to flash out the cute Nectarine on the chase with his own flash. I'm done still dropping pretty low, but Toxic caught out by the death sentence. Has his own flash to get out. Everyone dropping incredibly low underneath that turret. Chenny G has arrived, picks up the kill underneath the turret. One more turret shot, but he does pick up the kill onto Sivir, and that's going to be a good old 3-for-1.
Yeah, very, very good job there by the side of Monash there, going to pick up 3 kills for the red buff, which isn't even going to go over to the Sivir there on Toxic due to dying on the back end of that, and 2 kills across to Chenny G, and probably going to utilize that extremely well. And we see Aurelia here on Q-Nick Zareen, going to pick up that 1 kill and 2 advantages, and you don't really want to see Aurelia with the Sheen at this point, this early in the game.
Yeah, and it was actually perfect timing there by Monash, just because Blackstar, his teleport is seconds away from coming back up. He could have contributed to that fight, but just wasn't able to. Got a lot of damage done in the top lane. In fact, not quite getting the turret down. Looks like he wants to keep that lane going. Maybe even wanted to just stay alive, in fact, as Q-Nectarine, that Sheen you were just talking about. Look at the damage that it put out onto him. Bomboy, not quite in trouble yet.
Yeah, Bomboy just doing a very good job there with the hooks in the bottom lane. Going to clear away those tunnels by Nightblade, but very, very good dive there, as you mentioned before, and the Sheen spike doing so much damage up in that top lane. Unfortunately, you're not going to pick up the kill onto Abyss Blackstar, but Blackstar getting that turret low in return for the TP play, but Monash actually getting an advantage there by far.
You can see Chenny G coming down, the lantern is available for him, takes the Dark Passage. I'm done way too far in the back line there, but Toxic is caught up, does get taken out, and the teleport has arrived. Abyss Blackstar's in the party, Bomboy getting hit by the Twisted Advance, but I'm done also taken out. Blackstar getting the consolation kill, but he's not going to be able to get out to safety, and oh, never mind, he's got his flash, gets underneath the turret, and that's going to be a 2-for-1.
Played beautifully there by Monash, and obviously coming to play this game and firing after last game's upset. And as we see before, I mean, as we saw just then, just Bomboy just weaving those hooks onto the priority targets. I mean, hitting Toxic on the back end of that, doing an extremely good job there. And although the counter TP did come through, it still hurt them a little bit more because that was a 1-for-2 and the TP blown out. Real quickly in chat though, Dungong Dude mentioned what team comp is stronger, and what are your opinions on that, Smite?
Which team comp is stronger right now? I've got to give it to Monash's team comp, because I talked about it in Champion Select. They've got the tools to deal with an engage gone wrong, or an engage that's not quite going to work, or hang on, there's a death sentence in the mid lane, but the Shurima Shuffle, in fact, the ult straight underneath the turret. I will decimate, he's taking a lot of damage, has to flash over the wall, dropping incredibly low, but the Glacial Prison comes in to clean up that kill.
As you saw that beautiful Shurima Shuffle there, but Chenny G being in the right place at the right time, using that Glacial Prism there, and with the kill advantage, is very tanky. I mean, already has that Cinderhulk item, and as you see before, using that advantage that he got from the early game and really utilizing it properly. So very, very good job there by the side of Monash, and very, very good roaming there by Bomboy.
Alright, so back to the team composition and why I think Monash has the advantage in that sense. They've got the tools to go to deal with a disengage gone wrong, even a good disengage. They've got a lot of tools, that Enchanted Crystal Arrow, the Glacial Prison, and a lot of damage just straight from their sort of mid-range backline there. But they've also got the tools to engage. You've seen them try it a few times so far, and looking at the score, worked out very well. Now that level 6 has come around for Alid, Enchanted Crystal Arrow is almost the king of all initiation if you've got the follow-up for it. And with Sejuani, you really couldn't ask for much more.
Most definitely. I mean, they've got the advantage that they need. I mean, this early game, had to go in the advantage of Monash, but it's really utilized his team comp. And as someone in the chat mentioned, Maokai's a bit slow, and if Aurelia can get ahead in this lane, I mean, farming it away and getting these items. If he gets the Trinity Force by this first or second dragon, he's going to be doing a lot of damage on that Aurelia.
You can see a bit of movement moving down towards that bottom lane. Sejuani, Jenny G looking for a kill. Should be spotted out by that ward. And is going to be forced to back off. But look at the river on the minimap. You can see so many red wards, and just the vision control is absolutely in favor of Monash right now. And so far, they've shown that they've got the team fight powers to really dominate any fights down there in the mid game to go for that early dragon.
Yeah, and we see Decimate actually going to itemize towards that Nash's Tooth, going to go for more of an auto attack centric build and use that passive. And Chinny G down in levels, but up in gold, he's just going to trade here with Knight Blake. Knight Blake having opportunities to farm away the jungle and get that advantage in terms of gold. But Chinny G has that Sightstone, going to ward up for his team and try to help Bomboy do his job.
And another thing that Monash have in their advantage right now is that teleport. You know, you can see it's on cooldown for Blackstar, and already Shenji, he's gone and he's charged over the wall looking for that ultimate straight onto I Am Done, and they pick him out of the fight just pretty much immediately. No, he flashes over the wall, does manage to stay alive. There's also a gank up in the top lane at the same time. Cute Nectarine getting dropped incredibly low, does have his flash available, is able to get over the wall with it, and is going to get the safety. So a flash down on each side of the map. However, with the jungler appearing in top lane, Monash are looking to go for this dragon.
Yeah, but quite a dangerous jungler to do this to, because usually the, Godhand may take it down here.
Looked like a good kill on him, but in fact the Empress Divide just keeping him completely alive. Doesn't solve the immediate problem of the dragon being taken out, but at least he managed to stay alive there, so good hook, but Razors keeping it not a huge loss.
Yeah, Razors actually kind of getting decent from what they actually could have lost. I mean, I'm done, and also Godhand nearly going down there, and if they lost that and the dragon would be extremely fatal for them in this game. If they fall behind with the tanks, then it's going to be extremely hard for the tanks to try and do their job in the mid game into the late game, which is tanking, surprisingly enough. And yeah, just the carry of Monash here doing an extremely good job and doing so much damage already, and the dragon's going to couple that.
And we can see a similar story to last game, but just mirrored on different teams. Blackstar picking up that Righteous Glory as his first item, so he's going to be looking to go for more skirmish-oriented fights, you know, bringing the entire teams together. And with his teleport now up as well as Cute Nectarines, we may be seeing our first 5v5 of the match, and with Righteous Glory available, it might give the movement speed available that the Razors need to get a good engage onto Monash, but they're going to have to be doing it so carefully.
Most definitely. I mean, we have Abyss Blackstar here already picking up that Righteous Glory, but no team fights can happen in the next 5 or so minutes due to the dragon being down, unless they push down some turrets or open up the map for some TP plays. The item's not going to do much for him in the top lane, especially compared to the Trinity Force, which Q Nectarine will be picking up fairly soon, I assume. But very good job there. Mid lane going into a farm lane, and Decimate actually out farming Godhand on that Azir, which is quite surprising, seeing as we spoke about Azir being able to push Decimate out of lane, which didn't happen at all.
I feel like it's been Godhand almost forced out of lane just because of, he had to go deal with all the other team fights that are happening down on the bottom side of the map. A lot of attention has been shown down to the duo lanes in the bottom lane, which means he's not in the mid lane farming, whereas Decimate, he's got more roaming potential, is able to get back to lane a little bit easier and get back and go for that farm. And especially now that, like, ever since he hit level 6, he's had kill pressure onto Godhand, and because he didn't lose out too much in the early game, it's still scary enough for Godhand to move back. And look at the minimap, he's already forced back underneath his turret.
Most definitely, as they're being pushed out. Actually, it's helpful coming through, top seating, top tier.
Yeah, and actually, that was just the Enchanted Crystal Arrow dead on the Toxic. They didn't really need the teleport, but it was absolutely enough to take out a kill and still an advantage. He's just going to recall and go straight back to top lane though, so no immediate objective advantages, but a kill is a kill is a kill.
Most definitely, I mean, TV for a kill, but Gold going across two. I think Q Nectarine actually picked a kill up on that end, and very good job there. Gonna have a hard time here. Sorry, Black Star's gonna have a hard time against Q Nectarine. I mean, the item advantage and difference is gonna be extremely strong. I mean, Aurelia's kit so good for doing so much damage, and it's gonna be hard. But Alad actually might get caught out here. Nightblake and I'm done both being dead.
And with the depth charge actually catching out Alad, teleport coming from Blackstar, the lantern's up, but I don't think they're going to let him get to it, and Alad is taken down once again. Now, no dragon again, so no objectives are able to be taken straight away. There is a turret down on the bottom lane that they do have a lot of members down there, may be able to take it out, but at the same time, they've got to start paying attention to I Will Decimate in the mid lane.
And they shouldn't let Kunik during this farm away this top lane. I mean, Aurelia, one of those late game beasts that just scale up so hard. And they might trade turret for turret here, I mean top lane turret for the bot lane turret, and a 1-for-1, and it's not really positive in terms of the trade-off, especially if they let this Diana and this Aurelia farm up.
So, I mean, a few good skirmishes from both sides actually taking a few advantages, but once again, it's going to be Razors a little bit on the back foot just from the start of this match. And oh no, Nibelake actually using his ultimate straight to the middle of the enemy team and forced a flash over the wall as his tunnel got completely interrupted. And he's going to lose his own blue buff.
Yeah, that was a beautiful moonfall there by I Will Decimate, and actually the lantern being taken out, but Connecting will be alright. But the moonfall interrupting the tunnel there on Nibelake, very, very fast reaction speed there, and the team's going to group up a bit and try to push this turret down potentially while Alad freezes the bot lane.
And they do have the wave clear to look at taking this turret down, especially if they can spot out those recalls that just came out for Monash. They'll know they'll have the numbers advantage in the mid lane if they do a little bit of movement bringing Nibelake over. And maybe take it out, because Diana, he has wave clear, but it's not quite enough, unfortunately, especially if he has to clean up any other minions, has to get a melee range. And then can suddenly be in a lot of trouble. But the Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes out straight down the mid lane, catches out I've Done. Emperor's Divide not going to be enough to save him, and Godhand using the best tools in his kit to get out of there. But I Will Decimate and Nectarine doing the best with the mobility. The Ignite does eventually tick down on Godhand. Nibelake getting a lot of damage on himself underneath his own turret, and it's Monash turning things around and taking out a turret.
This is the raw plays that they made there. I Will Decimate actually even when the minions on half health so that Nectarine could dash to it and get the reset on the dash onto Azir, and I'm done there. So very, very strong playmaking there by the team of Monash and doing what we expected to come out of the first game.
And the thing about playing against a composition that has Ashe in it, you've always got to be thinking, if you're in the mid lane, is an arrow going to come and hit me? Is the Ashe waiting in the middle of the lane? Because mid lane, it's the easiest thing ever to hit those arrows. And so you've always got to be ready for that, always ready to flash at a moment's notice. Dragon spawning up in 5 seconds, and with a few recalls coming up from Monash, it looks like the numbers advantage is going to be over to Razors here for a while, and teleports are both down. So I'm going to see if Monash can get there in time.
Yeah, but Monash will be here quite soon, and if they can get them off it now, they're going to get the advantage. But as I mentioned before, the Enchanted Arrow doing so much work, and I'm kind of surprised here Godhand didn't go for the cleanse, because you can cleanse both the Glacial Prism, Hook, and the Arrow, but opting for the heals, trying to kill in lane. Black's are going to be cute here and do some damage onto Chenny G, but Chenny will be lanterned out of there, and they're going to set up for this dragon and see if they can try to get it up. But Monash having that ward advantage and knowing exactly what they're going to do.
And this dragon, it's the same story as mid lane. You've always got to be thinking, is the arrow coming for us? We've got to be ready, we've got to be ready to dodge it. And chances are, with the slow front line that they've got, the Righteous Glory coming out, Cute Nectarine has been caught out, but Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto the front line, unfortunately, and they are starting to go down. Cute Nectarine just simply turned around and took out I Am Done. Spell Shield nicely blocking that death sentence there, and Monash, once again, take the advantage. Blackstar, I don't think he's getting out of this one.
Blackstar's going to walk away and see if Kunik actually gets there in time, but he's going to execute here because he knows that he can't get away. So very smart play there, not going to give him the extra gold. And the second dragon going across to Monash. So as you said before, a flip of last game, and I will dominate, Decimate, and Cute Nectarine just doing work on these two champions. And the Enchanted Arrows hitting the targets they need to hit and locking up the team of Razors here.
Yeah, and it's what I was talking about in Champions League, how they've got the tools to deal with an engage gone wrong. And it looked like an alright engage. It looked like they might have been able to take out Cute Nectarine, but he's been so far ahead, and then suddenly you just don't expect the Enchanted Crystal Arrow to be on your front line. You expect it to go for the squishies if you can, but they're going for more of a defensive playstyle during these team fights where they will ult the front front line, deal with that first, and then get to the back line, because if you get out of this with Aurelia still alive, and I Will Decimate still alive, they're easily able to get straight into the back line and deal with Toxic with no one able to peel for.
Unfortunately for Razors, actually, that they actually went on to something like the Aurelia, who is more the front line than the back line, and using all their engage with the Righteous Glory Maokai, and also trying to have I'm Done there help him out, but picking up Nautilus when your team is behind is extremely hard because you can't utilize your engage due to how squishy you are, and he got popped at the start of that fight. So the Depth's Charge not going onto a carry, and neither with the Dredge Line and the Riptides, so it's going to be important for him to try be on the front foot and try catch a player out, but wards around Baron here might actually make a Baron play.
I don't know, I've seen too many CLG throws at 20-minute Barons, but with Cute Nectarine in the bottom lane putting a time limit on that push, Razors are going to have to start doing something about it. They're sending their jungler down there, Nightblade, which I kind of agree with because he does have that global ultimate, but they've got to be careful with any kind of engages. You see, I'm Done, he was looking for a kill, but once again the engage is turned around. Nightblade has arrived to the party. Glacial Prison onto Toxic, couldn't even spell shield. He's taken out of the fight immediately. Monash just destroying this team fight as Godhand is also taken out. Nightblade, a triple kill going over to Chenny G, and now we might see the Baron.
Kenny G utilizing the first 2 kills that he got at the start of this game and snowballing it so hard, and as you saw there, the Glacial Prism, getting a bit tongue-twisted there, going onto Toxic down the Sivir, and the Ashe, I was not expecting the start of the fight, but hit Toxic as well, so he was stunned up for 5 seconds there, just getting taken down for free, and couldn't really deal as much damage as he wanted to there. They thought they had the jump on the champ, the enemy team on Monash, but Monash turned it around with the ultimates they had and the raw gold lead they have, and just won the fight outright, picked up the Baron at 21 minutes, and it's going to be extremely advantageous for them.
I feel like Razors, they've got the right idea, but they're just executing it not perfectly, which is unfortunate, because when you're up against a team comp like the Monash one here, with Ashe especially, you need to be the one to take the fight to them. You can't just sit around waiting for the perfect enchanted crystal arrow to hit you in the face. You need to take the fight to them, but they're just not doing it quite perfectly. Every time, Monash is just ready. They're ready for every engage that comes out, and they turn the fight around and immediately rip through their front line, which just isn't tanky enough yet, and then move straight to the back line and completely destroy every single fight. There hasn't been a team fight where Monash have come out not on top.
Most definitely, and as you mentioned, they have the tools, they have the Sivir on the hunt, they have the Dredge Line, and they also have the Riptide to do some AoE slowing. They even have the Depth's Charge, just the point and click stun that can rip through a team, but the team of Razors being behind at this point is kind of counterintuitive to their comp to go in, because if they go in, they're too squishy to do anything about it. So make the pick, unless it's on something like Alid on that Ashe, or I Will Decimate on that Diana, it's going to be really hard for them to try make the best and make the most out of their engage comp.
Yeah, the Azir turret actually does come up to maybe kind of delay the inevitable here. I do see that Abyss Blackstar, he's up in the top lane, has recalled, but oh, what have we got going on here? Don't fall for it, guys. Come on, you did the same thing to them. But no, there goes the vision. They worked it out. No sneaky plays for you guys, Monash. You're going to have to win this one legit.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, just taking out these outer objectives and opening up the map, and Razors can't really do anything right now. I mean, down 12k gold already, and it's only 23 minutes, and it's really hard for them to try claw back now because they have an engage comp, but they're so far behind in gold, and the carries on the side of Monash can do so much damage to the backline and even the front line. So we'll see what Razors can do here to try counteract that. I mean, utilizing the Baron buff, picking up that bot turret, and probably going to rotate towards that top tier 2 turret and help Cute Nectarine get this turret.
I'd like to see a bit of split pushing coming out from Cute Nectarine, just because with Baron buff, pushing down multiple lanes is absolutely vital, not vital, but a really big advantage, because you can get that Baron buff onto multiple lanes. You only need one person there, and right now, who's going to be able to 1v1 Cute Nectarine? The answer is nobody on Razors right now, so the fact that they're able to do that, his teleport's not quite up, but I feel like Monash, they've got enough tools to deal with a bad engage even with 4 people. They can at least disengage, but as you can see, they've brought a few members up to the top lane, taking the easy turret down.
And they're going to rotate towards the dragon now, up in 20 seconds. Going to get that third dragon, get that movement speed bonus, which is only going to help with their disengagey, turnaround, composition they have going here, and doing an extremely good job at using their composition, utilizing it properly and making the most of it. And I think this third dragon is just going to be something they can get towards that fifth dragon, which is really, really strong for either team at this point. But definitely Monash in the driving seat right now.
Yeah, the options for Razors right now are just not very good. I mean, what do you think about how they have to engage onto the enemy team, but they just don't have enough gold to do it? What do you do in that situation when the only clear option for you just isn't available?
It's going to be extremely difficult. I mean, in this situation, it's up to Razor to just make sure they wave clear these lanes, try not lose too many objectives off it, but if they play reactively and sit in their base, Monash just gets free objectives, so it's really hard. I mean, the early game towards the mid game is extremely important for a comp that Razor is running. And this got out-rotated, and the teleport play is really making the most of the early advantages they had, and Bomboy and Ella just taking that lane outright, which really hurt the composition of Razors there. So it's up to Razors to try utilize their late game advantage and try to balance these carries in terms of Azir and Silver.
And just to use an example of how far ahead Monash are right now, look at the CS difference between the two AD carries. I mean, it's 60, but you've got a huge amount of assists on Ashe and a few kills, and you look at the items as well. It's like almost an entire item ahead. Phantom Dancer, BF Sword, compared to the pieces of Zeal. That's just not gonna cut it right now for, oh, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow does catch once again the front line of this Black Star, but the Glacial Prison, they don't even care about the back line right now. Empress Divide is gonna delay the inevitable as Godhand's caught out, but Thresh can't quite go over the wall. Does eventually take down Godhand anyway, and this could be where they just win the game.
Yeah, I mean, Bomboy hitting the crucial targets and hitting Godhand on the back of that fight, which really, sealed his fate. Nail in the coffin, and picking up the top lane inhibitor going to be extremely strong for bot lane fights, and maybe picking up that dragon because the super minions will be coming around that side of the map. But Baron up in a minute and a half, see what they can do here. Going to steal away their blue, most likely give it around to our Decimate, and Decimate is doing an amazing job on this Diana here, and so is the rest of his team.
So once again, Razors on the back foot, still trying to play reactively, still getting caught out by all the Enchanted Crystal Arrows, and like I said earlier, to get around that, you can't just wait for the perfect team fight, because the perfect Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to come out before that. So they need to go for the best team fights that they can find, but being so far behind in gold, they essentially need to catch out either Decimate or Alid, and Monash are being way too careful for that to ever happen. So it's really looking grim for Razors right now, and like you said in the first game, the losing team, they're going to have to start thinking about the next game, the third and final game, where everything's going to be on the line, because it's not looking likely for Razors to move on from this point, but they can still bring it back in the third game and still move on to the next round of the regional qualifier.
Most definitely, and we see two members of the side of Monash actually picking up those Elixir of Ruin, so obviously that tells a lot to what they're going to try to be doing in these fights. And actually just going to establish some ward vision here so they can take a safe round without any contention, but even if the side of Razors do try to contest, an Enchanted Arrow or Glacial Prison is just going to turn the whole fight around, and they might just re-engage onto the team that try to contest and kill them anyways. So it's really, stuck between a hard, rock and a hard place right now, so see what they can do. Enchanted Arrow on Neil Blake. And
Nightblake caught out by the Ashe ult once again. They're just going to turn around. Baron gets a brief breathing moment to regen his health, but they had the entire path warded, so of course they're going to see someone to get a perfect arrow.
Most definitely, and as you said before, Ashe on Alid just using that Enchanted Arrow so well, making the picks for his team, and just all focusing that one person that gets stunned up. So pushing in this mid lane, we have a bit Black Star on the bot side of the map, but not going to be able to do much. He's going to wave clear and recall and try and meet in the mid lane, but it's going to be hard for him to try fend off this push in, and if he's not going to turn up in time, he's going to get us in for free. So double in this far into the game, 30 minutes, and I have a feeling to close out very soon.
And they're actually not opting to retreat after that. Oh, no, there they go. They're getting out of there. Noblake up, so it's going to be a fair 5v5. You've got to be careful with those, even if you are that far ahead. They are just simply going to rotate into the bottom lane, the only set of turrets left, and take out perhaps the third inhibitor if they can win a fight. And this is going to be where Razors need to make a decision. Do they keep playing defensively, or do they go for an engage before the ECA comes out?
At this point in the game, they have to force an engage because they're so far behind. The only time they can win is under the inhibitor turret. Here.
There it goes. As soon as the HUD comes out, Skill Prison straight to the face. They're dealing with this engage a little bit better. They're not getting quite caught out. This Emperor's Divide is now finally over. And a lot of the tools for Razors are now down.
Yeah, no dips charge for Armdon to catch over the carries, and TP is being cheeky there, making the tank minion last longer than a distraction actually.
Yeah, and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow does go on to a Black Star there, catches them out straight away, even despite the flash, but that's all that Monash really need right now. They take out the third inhibitor, and these Nexus turrets are really not long for this world.
An extremely commanding victory there by the side of Monash, and actually going on to TNT. TNT will go in, but nothing really happening. They're just going to auto-take each other, and Six might go down here.
Yeah, honestly, this is mostly just the playful skirmishes you have as the Nexus is dying. As you can see, victory going over to the red side. Team Monash A tying it up 1-1, which means we are going to a third game, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to the all-deciding match that will decide who goes on to the next round, who is getting kicked out and not getting the shot at the grand finals at the Right office in Sydney. So we'll be jumping into the next lobby immediately, so don't go anywhere, guys. We won't be too long.